عملنا after takeoff climb checklist, everything is done, so we are preparing for the approach. How to prepare for the approach? We start by putting the auto brake to low according to the landing performance calculation that we already did. نتأكد من MCD and everything is set according to plan. Okay, أنا بدي أروح for the Losar 1 Charlie arrival اللي هي from Losar back to Lonin and then from Lonin to Ordun for the final fix. بس today just for training purposes رح نحسب إنه we're gonna just delete Lonin and from Lonin he's gonna clear us for the center fix of runway 26 left. Let's say just كأنه radar vectors, كأنه عم يعطينا radar vectors. Okay, so بما انه there's no point to wait يعني كل شيء جاهز بس علينا نجهز بعد الابروتش. so بنرجع بنحط QNH 1013 على temperature what 33 and 080 at 5 knots and then we put the MDA which was 2566 and the go around altitude which was 5000. Alright, and then we're gonna assume and now he's gonna give us radar vectors to Lonin and then we can descend to 8500 feet because there's no point هلا نقعد ننطر all the way to Losar. So in a bit we can start configuring and start preparing the aircraft to land. So just this is a flight بس حتى نفرجي كيف operating procedures. حكينا كل شيء on ground before start, after start, before takeoff, after takeoff and below the line. And now we prepared for the approach, so عملنا الapproach checklist and then after we finish with the approach we'll do the landing checklist to land. So now we can descend to let's say 13,000 feet. He cleared us for 13,000 feet. We descend. We start reducing our speed لأنه بلشنا نقرب, so I'm gonna put 200 knots to 10 knots let's say. Assuming once again إنه نحن عم نعمل radar vectors. We're not following the star, we're not following anything, we're just following what the ATC is telling us to do. And then maybe he's gonna give us radar vectors, so continue to set to 8,500 feet all the way to Lonin. So we are on the radar coverage, so we're gonna pull heading. We're gonna descend to the altitude so we can put the QNH to the current QNH, which is 1013. And then we descend. I increase the speed to maximize my descent rate, so the higher حسب السبيد تبعي كل ما علي السبيد كل ما ينزل descent rate. Okay. So let's say عطينا heading 060. So we are on this heading. We're gonna remove the Losar لأنه Losar is not effective anymore because we're not following the star. عندنا speed constraint to 10 knots. We are following the speed constraints على Losar على Lonin sorry. So this is gonna be an ILS approach. Since أنا صرت تحت 10,000 feet, I can do the 10,000 feet checks. 10,000 feet قلنا AAL, so above airdrome elevation. So we can turn on the landing lights. We can push the ILS push button, so we can have an idea. And constraint is on our side. Okay, let's say give us a further right turn heading 070 or 075. So we continue on this heading. And then further right 100. تأكدنا انه ال ILS push button is there لانه هو 10,000 feet قطعناه. وجاي 26 left لحتى يعطينا indication قديش نحن قراب ام بعاد عن المطار. اوكي let's say قلنا هلا track direct Lonin. So we have track direct Lonin. بدنا نساعد على الطيارة بما انه we are sharp. So we have to turn further right heading 200 لحتى يلقط الناف. Once الناف لقط automatically it goes to Lonin. Lonin 14 miles, so we can reduce our vertical speed to rate of descent, sorry. Still in heading mode until we catch the Lonin. شايفين nav is armed. So from here to Lonin we have nav blue. Lonin 8,500 feet. So as long as we are at 8,500 feet على Lonin we are good. We activate the approach اللي هو ILS 26 left. ILS approach is activated. 110.9. نتأكد من الchart انه we have the correct ILS for runway 26 left. 110.9 اللي هو Inject Quebec Alpha. So this is it, the path we're going through. We start reducing furthermore the speed لأنه we're getting close to the airport. We are at around 29 miles. Can keep it 200 for now. After Lonin, we can descend to 4,600 feet. So we can see from the ND Lonin 7 miles. We are respecting the altitude constraint, which is 8.5, and the speed constraint, which is maximum 210. So نحن على 200, so everything looks good. And just continuing to 10. بس نسرع شوي. After Lonin فينا ننزل على 4,600 feet. So we still have 5 miles to go. بهالمنطقة هون بنعمل approach checklist, which is the briefing that we briefed about. The ECAM status is checked. We don't have anything on the status. Seat belts are on. And the MDA DH is set. So seat belts should be turned on, and the MDA is set to 566. And then we continue. نبلش نحضر حالنا لننزل after Lonin to 4,600. So we arm it here. But we don't pull, we don't press anything until we pass Lonen. Alright. So 4-6 is armed. Okay, we are passing Lonen in 0.5 miles. So we have the inbound Charlie Foxtrot 26 left, so we can descend على 4600 feet. We catch the glide slope around 20 miles, so we have the glide slope catched, which is good. This is the sign of the glide slope, this is the sign of the localizer. Once we are inbound Quebec Alpha Alpha, we can arm the approach for the ILS 26 left. As long as you're above 4600 before reaching Charlie Foxtrot 26 left, it's very good. We can start reducing the speed command simultaneously while we're descending, لأن we are a bit يعني مش below, but it's good to have the glide slope above us. It's always good to intercept the glide slope below, not above. So we go to 180 knots. Approaching at the green dot speed is the perfect time to put the flaps, as long as you are below the flap exceeding speed limit, which is هون 230 for flaps 1. So above 220 I put flaps on 1. Flaps 1. We're still very good on the profile. شايفين كيف لاحقين the glide slope perfectly, so we're good. I can see the runway. I think you can see the runway. How هونيك. But let's stick to the fact that we cannot see the runway. قاعدين احنا IMC. Okay, I can reduce further the speed to 160. I'm below the flap 2 speed اللي هو هذا الامبر, so I can put flaps 2. شايفين اللوكلايزر كيف عم يمشي؟ عم يمشي اللوكلايزر and I'm below the glide slope, so it's the perfect time to arm the approach. When I arm the approach دايما بحط the second autopilot, so ال FMA باين عندي Lockstar Cat 3 Dual AP1 plus 2. Alright. هون since I'm sure انه I'm established on the localizer اللي هو a bit offset بالsimulator compared to the real life, automatically الطيارة وقت تصير قريبة على الجلايد سلوب she's gonna intercept the glide slope. So I can help the aircraft by pulling the vertical speed to 500 لحتى ما ننزل كتير below, and then ساعد the aircraft to catch the glide slope easily and in a nice way. Then 2000 عادة 2000 feet above airdrome level, يعني على 2000 feet radio altimeter, is the perfect time to put the gear down. وقت نحط the gear down, we manage the speed so we can reduce the speed accordingly. Approaching the glide slope, the FMA راح يتغير. It's gonna change from GS blue to GS star, which indicates that we are capturing the glide slope. GS star, which means that the glide slope is captured, and then we set the go around altitude to 5,000 feet. 5,000 feet GS star, perfect time to put the gear down. Speed managed. وقت نحط الgear down, we arm the spoilers, and we turn on the runway turn on lights to take off lights. أكيد the take off lights once we have the clearance to land. Alright. حطينا ال go around altitude is 5,000 feet, flaps are on 2, gear is down, so put third stage of flaps اللي هو flaps 3. وآخر شي بنحط the last stage of flaps which is flaps full قبل ما نوصل لل 1000 feet stable call. حطينا flaps full, everything's good, and we're landing. 1000 هو stable call. At 1000 feet you call stable or you call not stable go around. Or at any time below the 1000 feet stable call you can call go around أكيد if you're not happy or you're not visual with the runway at minimums. هون في شوية problems بالفريمز لأنه فاتحين كتير stream مشان هيك أول مرة علقت. So let's hope this time it's gonna be fine. So 1000 call. At any time if you want you can disengage the autopilot. So هون a perfect time لحتى just to focus on landing, focus on the flight directors and on your descent profile. Now disconnecting, you disconnect the autopilot and أكيد بتcancel warning and then you continue to land. أكيد landing once we touch down we put the reversers and the auto brake لحاله راح يشتغل once the once the spoilers are deployed, and then we vacate. When we vacate we lead the FMA land, which means the light stop and the glide stop are fully locked, and minima we are visual, we continue, and then gentle flare على 30 feet just to make sure no we're gonna get away from the hard landing. We rotate تمام and then retarded a bit early, but then we flare again and then you land. You put the full reverse أو maximum reverse إذا بدكم in case the runway منه طويل أو whatever, and then manual brake because we are very light. ونطلع from the first exit waypoint and then we do the SOPs or after landing checklist. After landing checklist هن very important لأنه فينا كتير نغربط فيهم أكيد لهون بيكون عنا workload taxi or whatever. فالpilot in command أو pilot flying once he retracts the spoilers أو the spoilers are retracted ساعتها البايلوت monitoring بيعلي flaps بيطفي weather radar. alright, بيطفي TARA بحطها standby. okay, then بنطفي terrain on ND, بنطفي flight directors وال ILS, and we switch on the APU as we said 3 seconds, and then we turn on the APU generator. أكيد once we vacate the runway هلا هون احنا عم نعمل two tasks in نفس التكة. So بس عادة it's the pilot monitoring that does this. First thing is the switching of the lights and the strobe and the takeoff light. نحطه taxi. Then we do the after landing checklist, which is spoilers are disarmed, weather radar is off, pre-WS is off, flaps are retracted, TCAS standby, APU is on. هو اللي عملناهم هلا as memory items. And then we taxi to the gate. أكيد هون عندكم procedure in case بدكم تعملوا single engine taxi or whatever. We vacate. And then we taxi to the gate. أكيد maximum turn is 10 knots for return. هيدا الصوت بيعني إن ال APU is available. بتسمعوا click, meaning that the APU is now available, which is good. Then you taxi. You choose the gate according to the ATC, whichever gate is in use, and then you taxi. أهم شي part of taxiing هون إنه قبل ما نصف أو before we park we have to make sure that the lights are off أحسن ما نعمل المارشلر أو weather radar is off. Then we can proceed to park, which is, I guess, should be somewhere here. Alright, after you park, تحطوا parking brake to on, and then you make sure the APU is available. You turn on the APU bleed. Once the APU bleed is on, then it's the time to switch off the engines. Once the engines are out, fuel pumps are out. Aft agitation valve is off. And then you put the standby, TCAS to standby, sorry. Once the N1 is below 10, so if you're 9, 10, alright, you can turn off the beacon. And the seatbelt signs goes to off. هون ساعتها الكابين crew they disarm the doors وبيقولوا لكم انه doors are disarmed. After that بتعملوا parking checklist, which is the APU bleed is on, seatbelts are off, fuel pumps are off, beacon is off, parking brake is on, aft oxygen valve is off, and then تحطوا التاك لوك إذا في شيء بالتاك لوك. Let's say that's it, and then the flight is over. Let's say we're gonna secure the aircraft and we want لأنه الطيارة ورانا ما فيها حدا and we want to secure it. Initially parking brake is to be released with chocks on, so لازم نحط الchocks. So options, we go to chocks, we put the chocks on, and we release the parking brake. After that we put the GPU on. Once the GPU is on, we make sure it's on before switching off the bleed and the APU. Oxygen goes to off, and we don't wanna make the bottle نفس. ADIRS goes to off. أول حتى no smoking lights goes to off. بعد ما كل passengers بيطلعوا out of the aircraft to put it back to off mode ال emergency lights. Navigation light كمان بيرجع off. And APU صفيناه, everything طفيناه. Batteries, once the APU is off, we put the battery off أحسن ما يعمل noise. And then we reduce the lights and we make sure and all lights are dimmed, مش off, محبذا مش off إلا إذا we are securing the aircraft. So in this case we're gonna put everything to off, including the PFD and speakers. So by like this. You secure the aircraft, everything's fine. حتى ال speakers goes to off, and that's it. Once the aircraft is secured, ساعتها you can leave, and that's it. So just feedback أو summary شو عملنا اليوم. عملنا just introduction how to request training and request exams. Another thing is عملنا brief about the calculation, how we use the sim brief, how we use the performance, how we use the checklists. بعدين عملنا cold start يعني cold and dark until engine starts. Then عملنا checklist according to the procedures of Airbus. We taxied. We did the takeoff review, takeoff performance checklist. Then we took off. عملنا السد اللي هي لو صار 1 كويبك SID. وقت وصلنا على 3000 feet اضطريت ارجع اعيد الستريم لانه صار في عطل باللايف ستريم. Then we did the takeoff again. We did the LOSAR 1 Quebec SID again. And after that we did the approach star. عملنا لها شوية deduction. عملنا aviation مع radar vectors. We came back to land ILS 26 left. عرفنا كل شيء how to do the MCDU from A to Z with the diff strip acronym or abbreviation. We landed using the precision approach ILS. And after we landed we vacated. عملنا ال after landing memory items و after landing checklist. ووصلنا للgate with securing the aircraft. So that's it for me. ان شاء الله يكونوا عجبكم stream. I don't know if it's still available بس انه hopefully اللي ما قدر يحضر الستريم اليوم يقدر يحضره at any time. It will be available على فيسبوك. وإذا حدا عنده أي questions I'm at Discord available till 21 Zulu. So you have 40 minutes to come and ask your questions. Otherwise, have a nice evening and hopefully you